Hey everybody, this is Dara Connolly, as in I dare you to speak up with confidence and be more impactful and influential when speaking in front of an audience. And I'm really excited for today's tip because I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that, how to speak with impact. Let's do it. Okay, this is going to be something you've never heard me say before, brand new content. This is my STAGE acronym of what I actually tell when I give paid presentations. So I'm going to give you a little snippet of this. This is my top 3 tips from my STAGE acronym of how you can be a better speaker and speak with impact. And the S in STAGE stands for stories. I want you to relive your stories. Don't retell, just relive it. So what does that mean? There's other videos that I've given in the series here that you're watching on how to tell a better story. But for this today, I want to tell you about what it means to actually go deep in reliving your story. So this way you can connect with people better. So let's use this for example. You know, recently I was at a presentation where I was speaking to a women's group and I was inviting everyone to stand up with me so we can all get the sense of what it feels like to be standing up to give a presentation. And I noticed one woman kind of towards the back of the room, an older woman. She had like a burnt red cardigan on and she looked a little bit nervous when I invited everybody to stand up. And in fact, she didn't stand up, she stayed seated. So as the room started to get a little noisy with people moving their chairs out and standing up, I started to make my way over to her. And I just wanted to see if she was able to stand up or if she needed assistance. Well, she motioned for me to come closer to her and she whispered, "Honey, I get really nervous when I am in front of a large audience. I'm very shy, so I'd rather just kind of sit here and hide a little bit." And I said, "Well, hold on a minute. You're among all your friends here. This isn't just a regular audience. These are your friends, your peers, people you know, your colleagues." And I said, "What if you were to stand up, but the woman next to you gently holds your hand to support you and say, 'I'm here for you. I got you.'" And she kind of thought about it for a moment. She's like, "Okay, I'll try." And so she did. She clasped hands and they just stood together. No big deal. Nobody even really noticed it. We just went on with the presentation. And afterwards, I could tell she was, a little bit shaky. Her hand was a little bit nervous. She was still a little bit uneasy. But she did come up to me after the presentation and said, "That really meant a lot to me. I often get very nervous in public when I have to speak, and I wasn't sure if you're going to ask us to speak or not. And I really felt this excitement when I stood up because I realized I don't need to always hide my entire life. And I appreciate that." She said, "I don't want to hide anymore." Now, here's my point in telling you this. When I tell you this story, you may have already forgotten the point of the story. Yeah. And the point was you can be an impactful speaker when you focus on connection over perfection. But what I bet you remember is the color cardigan she was wearing, burnt red, or that she was an older woman, or that her hand was a little bit shaky. You see, people are more likely going to forget the details of what you said, but they will remember parts of your story because maybe they feel an emotion pulled when you tell that story, or they can imagine being there in the room with you. Or they may even feel like that woman or that person that you were describing. So when we tell a story in that way and we relive it, it invites our audience to come deeper into the story with us. Now, this is important, and this is for you to do as well. Stories connect us. And when you retell a story by reliving the emotions involved, you pull this audience in deeper and they connect with you even deeper. Now, as we get into tip 2, this is the next part of that. Let's take it a step further. Tip 2 is to know your audience really well so you can speak exactly to them. Whenever you give a presentation or you have the honor to speak in front of an audience and you really want to make an impact speaking in front of them, I always invite you to connect with your audience in some way. Whatever you can do, and you can do this on Zoom too. But in person, for sure, you want to do something that's different. Can you go into the audience? Can you ask questions? Can you do a role play? Can you make it interactive? Can you engage? Can you come up with a creative game? Can you do a poll where people get involved? Something that is not expected, that is not part of your normal everyday, a person's up there just talking. We want to get the audience involved and engaged in some way. And so the A in stage, we're going to skip over a few letters, is to interact with the audience, get the audience involved in your presentation. Maybe you could even pull somebody up on stage if that's appropriate. Always ask for their permission, of course. But when you do this, then the audience is present-minded. They are in the moment with you. They're excited. And if they're present, that means they are listening. Sounds good, right? Okay, now before I give you the super duper tip 3, a power tip that you, again, most likely have never heard before, it's a good time to remind you to smash that subscribe button if you're enjoying this content, because there's so much more that I can teach you on this topic. But we like to keep these videos short for you. So for tip 3 today on how to be a more impactful speaker, I want you to end with impact. End in a profound way. If you're telling a dramatic story and it gets sad or emotional, don't leave them down, bring them back up. Make sure your audience is leaving on a high, leaving inspired, leaving with a call to action, leaving with something of, wow, I am ready to go. I feel moved, changed, transformed from hearing you speak. So we want to end in a powerful way. Sometimes you can see at the end of a presentation, it goes into a Q&A session. But you do not end there. Do not end on a Q&A session, because it kind of like falls flat. Somebody can ask a really dull or kind of off-topic question, and that's it. Now you're done. More importantly, don't end with words that have that dull phrase in it, like that's it, or I'm done, or that's all I got. Even thank you is polite, but it's kind of dull and overused. So we want to end in a more impactful way. So here's what I suggest. I want you to end with something really profound. It could be a quote. It could be a poem. It could be your foundational phrase that you've used in your speech. And if you're not sure about that, come talk to me. So for this presentation, the phrase that I've said before, and I'll say it in an impactful way as if I'm closing my presentation. I enjoyed speaking with you today. I look forward to coming to a future event with you. And always remember, you can speak with impact when you remember connection over perfection. That's a powerful way to end your presentation. So I'm Dara Connolly, and there's so much more I can teach you on this topic. So what I want you to do now that you know how to speak with impact is go ahead and click the link below for DaraConnollyCLUB so you can access my expert video collection to get you on the stage and become a paid speaker, get on TEDx, go into the media and beyond. It's time to move into that space. So go ahead and click the link below for the club, and I cannot wait to see you there. Until then, you are amazing.